Hayden Klemenach stood on the banks of a rushing river in Yosemite National Park. The date was the 2nd of July in 2023, and the air hung heavy with the oppressive heat of a humid summer day. However, the group pressed on with their hike towards Chilnualna Falls Creek. Hayden, born on November 11, 1998 in Santa Rosa, California, was never one to shy away from challenges. From his early years, he had been the sporty and adventurous kid, his enthusiasm for fitness evident in his achievements, particularly in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. A proud blue belt holder, Hayden had participated in numerous competitions, drawn to the mental focus and competitiveness of the sport. His childhood also saw him immersed in baseball, playing in Petaluma Valley Little League and various all-star and travel ball teams. When his group of friends proposed a hiking trip to Yosemite, Hayden jumped at the opportunity without a second thought. He cleared his schedule and eagerly packed his bags, ready for the adventure that awaited them. The group embarked on their journey towards the upper Chilnualna Falls Creek, following a trail famous for its two waterfalls that spanned more than 12 kilometers, 7.456 miles. Yosemite, known for its abundant snowfall during winter, contributed to a challenging environment with a high river flow. The initial hours of the hike were joyous, filled with laughter and playful banter. The camaraderie fueled their determination as they pushed through the trail. However, as the day wore on, the heat and humidity began to take their toll, prompting Hayden to suggest a break to freshen up. Around 2 p.m., as they passed the trail beside the river, the group decided to deviate and cool off in the inviting waters. Standing on the riverbanks, they watched the rushing water, enticed by the idea of a refreshing break. Hayden, feeling the need to cool down further, leaned down to wash his face. What started as a simple act of refreshment took a tragic turn. A sudden surge of water swept through the river, catching Hayden off guard. He lost his balance and was swiftly carried away by the roaring waters. Submerged and disoriented, he struggled against the powerful current. A loud splash alerted his friends, who turned to see Hayden's last moments beside the river. However, he had disappeared, leaving only the relentless flow of the river. Frantically searching, his friends saw a figure in the water. Hayden, desperately trying to stay afloat, clinging to anything that could save him. The group, torn between the instinct to save their friend and the realization of the danger, hesitated. The currents were too strong, and jumping into the river without proper gear would be perilous. With heavy hearts, they contacted Park Emergency Services, initiating a desperate plea for help. Yosemite National Park declared Hayden missing on July 5, 2023, triggering an immediate response. His parents, Kevin and Michelle, rushed to Yosemite, their hearts gripped by fear and hope. It took until July 9, 2023 to locate Hayden's lifeless body near Chilnualna Creek. The challenging location required an additional 24 hours to retrieve his remains, confirming the devastating reality on July 10, 2023. The tragedy echoed through Hayden's family and friends, leaving them in the throes of grief. Yosemite's official website issued a somber warning about the dangers of swift, cold rivers, urging visitors to stay away from wet rocks. To support Hayden's family financially, a GoFundMe page was established, a testament to the community's shared sorrow. Hayden, remembered for his kind nature, dedication, and willingness to help, became the focal point of a memorial fund supporting a promising athlete in the Casa Grande High School baseball program. On July 29, 2023, a celebration of life was held at the Marine Country Club, gathering family, friends, and those touched by Hayden's presence. Despite the sorrow, his life was celebrated for its positive qualities, achievements, and the profound impact he had on those around him. Hayden's passing, tragic as it was, serves as a reminder of the inherent dangers even in the most enchanting natural environments. Though grief lingers, his memory lives on through the stories shared by those who knew and loved him, a testament to a life well lived despite its premature end. A tale of anticipation and mystery begins in the heart of Arizona's Grand Canyon, where the sun paints the rugged landscape in warm hues. Long before the tragic events of that fateful Sunday evening, the canyon held its secrets, whispering them to the winds that swept through the rocky crevices. Our story unfolds in the small town nearby, where a close-knit community resides, their lives intertwined with the looming grandeur of the canyon. Among them is a 57-year-old woman known for her love of adventure and the solace in the desert's embrace. In the weeks leading up to that ominous Sunday, the townsfolk were excited about the approaching summer. As the 57-year-old woman prepared for her upcoming adventure, the town became a wellspring of advice and cautionary tales. Old-timers shared stories of the canyon's unpredictable temperament, scalding temperatures, and the need to respect its wild. Undeterred by the ominous warnings, she absorbed these stories like a sponge, her excitement undeterred by the foreboding whispers. With the dawn of that Sunday, the day of the planned hike, the town woke to the distant glow of the canyon bathed in the early morning sun. The woman set out on her adventure with a backpack slung over her shoulders. As she ventured into the vastness of the Grand Canyon, her footsteps became a melody against the backdrop of the desert's quiet hum. The sun climbed higher, casting long shadows on the canyon walls. Little did the townspeople know that this ordinary Sunday would transform into a day etched in the annals of the canyon's history. Back in the town, the day unfolded with its usual rhythm. Unbeknownst to the community, the heat wave had set its sights on the canyon, turning the ordinary into the extraordinary. Hours passed, and as the sun reached its zenith, the temperature in the canyon soared to unprecedented heights. The air, thick with an unseen tension, whispered of a change in the desert's temperament. It was during this sweltering afternoon that the call for help echoed through the canyons, reaching the ears of a vigilant park ranger. The ranger rushed to the scene, guided by the urgency of the distress call. The journey through the winding paths of the canyon became a race against time, the unforgiving sun casting its unrelenting gaze upon the unfolding drama. Arriving in the remote area, the ranger found the woman unconscious and overcome by the desert's relentless grasp. The beauty of the canyon, now overshadowed by tragedy, witnessed the ranger's solemn pronouncement in the eerie quiet of the canyon depths. Her adventure had come to an untimely end. As the news spread through the town, a hushed silence settled over the once lively streets. Now beginning its descent, the sun cast long shadows over the wooden storefronts and dusty roads. The town, a witness to the joy and camaraderie that had filled its corners, now mourned the loss of one of its own. The days followed were a sad reflection of the fragile dance between humanity and nature. The National Park Service and the Mojave County Medical Examiner, now tasked with unraveling the mysteries of the woman's demise, delved into the heart of the canyon's secrets. Like a river seeking its course, the investigation meandered through the complexities of the desert's mysterious ways. As the nation geared up for 4th of July celebrations, the tragedy in the Grand Canyon became a poignant reminder of the deadly consequences of underestimating the desert's relentless grip. The excessive heat warning, stretching until July 5th, echoed the warnings whispered by the townsfolk before her ill-fated adventure. On July 10, 2002, in the heart of Namibia, a land of stark beauty and contrasting landscapes, lies the fictional Tandala Reserve. Known for its rugged terrain and diverse wildlife, Tandala is a gem hidden in the vastness of southern Africa. It's a place where nature rules supreme, a sanctuary for animals, and a paradise for nature lovers. Sarah van der Merwe, a 28-year-old South African tour guide admired for her courage and love for African wildlife. Michael Okonkwo is a local guide known for his deep respect for the natural world and extensive knowledge of the African bush. Sarah had always been fascinated by the wilderness, with her blonde hair often tied back under a hat and a smile that never seemed to fade. Working in Tandala was a dream come true for her. Born and raised in the outskirts of Windhoek, Namibia, Michael had a natural affinity with the bush and its inhabitants. The day was typical for Tandala. Clear blue skies and a gentle breeze whispering through the savanna grasses. The group Sarah and Michael were leading was buzzing with excitement. It was their first night camping in the wild. The plan was to set up camp near a famous watering hole known for spectacular wildlife sightings. As the group reached the site, Sarah briefed them on safety protocols. "Remember, we are guests in the home of these magnificent creatures," she reminded them. The camp was set up with expert precision, and as the sun began to set, the group gathered around the campfire, sharing stories and laughter under the African sky. A serene stillness enveloped the campsite as the night descended upon Tandala Reserve. The sky, a tapestry of twinkling stars, watched over the sleeping forms of the tourists cocooned in their tents. Amid this tranquil scene, a subtle disturbance rippled through the air. A lioness, her coat blending seamlessly with the savanna grass, moved stealthily towards the camp. Drawn by the unfamiliar scents and the murmur of intruders in her domain, she approached with cautious curiosity. Her movements were graceful and silent, a testament to her natural prowess. Nested in her tent, Sarah was gently roused from sleep by a faint, unusual sound. Unzipping the tent flap, she peered out into the night. The campfire's dying embers cast a faint glow, revealing the lioness standing only a few meters away. Sarah's heart pounded in her chest, her breath caught in her throat. She recognized the danger immediately. With every instinct screaming caution, Sarah attempted to retreat slowly, planning to wake the others without causing alarm. But the calm of the night was abruptly shattered. The lioness, sensing a potential threat to her hidden cubs nearby, launched a defensive attack. With astonishing speed, the lioness pounced. Sarah was caught off guard and barely had time to react. The mighty animal bore down on her, its massive jaws clamping onto her leg with terrifying strength. Sarah's scream, a mixture of pain and fear, pierced the night, jolting the camp awake. The campsite erupted into chaos. The tourists, awakened by the commotion, scrambled from their tents, disoriented and terrified. Their screams and cries filled the air, adding to the moment's frenzy. Michael, who was sleeping in a nearby tent, was awakened by the noise. He quickly assessed the situation and knew immediate action was required. Approaching a lioness directly, especially one feeling threatened, was dangerous. He grabbed a nearby torch, its beam cutting through the darkness. Waving it frantically and shouting, he aimed to distract the lioness. The lioness, momentarily startled by the sudden burst of light and sound, loosened her grip on Sarah. Despite the excruciating pain, this brief respite allowed Sarah to drag herself away from the lioness's reach. During the commotion, Michael's presence of mind prevailed. He instructed the group to band together, making loud noises to intimidate the lioness. Pots and pans were clanged and several tourists flashed their torches, creating a disorienting spectacle of light and sound. The group's combined efforts, along with the approaching headlights and sirens of the reserve's rangers, created enough commotion to drive the lioness back. With a final, lingering look, she disappeared into the dark veil of the African night. The rangers, experienced in handling such emergencies, quickly attended to Sarah. They applied first aid with practiced efficiency, working to control the bleeding and stabilize her condition. The severity of her injuries was apparent. The lioness's powerful bite had caused significant damage. A medical helicopter was summoned, arriving with the urgency that the situation demanded. Sarah was airlifted to the nearest hospital, where doctors fought to save her leg. However, the damage was too extensive, and in a life-saving decision, her leg was amputated. This harrowing night at Tandala Reserve will forever be etched in the memories of those present. For Sarah, it marked a defining moment in her life, a testament to both the unpredictability of nature and the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity. The news of the attack sent shockwaves through the local community and among wildlife enthusiasts worldwide. Tandala Reserve officials, deeply concerned, reassured the public that this was an isolated incident, a tragic encounter spurred by the protective instincts of a mother lioness. Sarah's journey of recovery was both physical and emotional. She faced her new reality with an inspiring strength, determined not to let this incident dampen her love for the wild. In interviews, she spoke of respecting wildlife and understanding the risks inherent in their world. Sarah became an advocate for wildlife conservation and safety in wilderness areas. Though born from tragedy, her story highlighted the delicate balance between human activity and wildlife habitats. She started a foundation focused on educating tourists and locals about coexistence with the natural world. The lioness, identified and monitored by the reserve, continued to roam Tandala, a symbol of nature's untamed beauty and unpredictability. The reserve implemented stricter safety measures for camping sites and increased awareness programs about wildlife behavior. Years later, Sarah returned to Tandala, not as a guide but as a visitor. She watched the sunset over the savanna, now with a prosthetic leg, but with the same undying passion in her heart. In the distant roar of a lioness, she found a kindred spirit, a survivor, a protector, a testament to the indomitable will of the wild.
Nestled amidst the stunning Colorado Rockies, the St. Regis Aspen Resort is a testament to luxury and serenity. Surrounded by nature's grandeur, the resort offered a breathtaking escape from the everyday hustle and bustle. Its grandeur was accentuated by the majestic mountains that enveloped it, providing guests with a taste of the unspoiled wilderness that Colorado is renowned for. In these parts of the world, bears were not an uncommon sight. Aspen, a picturesque town, had long become accustomed to its wild neighbors venturing into its limits. Bears, like the one involved in this incident, often wandered through the town, navigating the urban terrain and occasionally exploring the nooks and crannies of human establishments. On that fantastic Monday evening of October 23rd, 2023, one such bear entered the heart of the St. Regis Aspen Resort, an unlikely visitor in a world of human extravagance. The kitchen, where culinary delights were crafted day in and day out, was now an unexpected setting for a bear's expedition. The security guard, following reports of the bear's intrusion, decided to investigate. With diligence and caution, he ventured deeper into the kitchen, wondering what lay ahead. The bear, on the other hand, was driven by its wild instincts, unaware that it had entered a world far removed from its own. As the guard turned a corner within the kitchen, the encounter took a startling turn. The bear, following its path, suddenly found itself face to face with the intruder, the security guard. Next was a swift, shocking interaction between these two beings from entirely different worlds. The bear, in a moment of fear and instinct, lashed out, swiping at the guard and knocking him down to the ground. It was a sudden and violent encounter, leaving the bear and the guard in shock. In the aftermath of this confrontation, the guard, shaken but alive, managed to break free from the bear's clutches. He swiftly dialed 911, calling for help that was much needed in this dire situation. He was rushed to a nearby hospital to receive treatment for the scratches he had incurred during the encounter, a physical reminder of the bear's presence that night. The authorities from Colorado Parks and Wildlife were alerted to the scene. Their investigation revealed that the bear had entered the hotel through a series of doors near the courtyard. The security footage captured the startling attack, showcasing the fear and aggression in the resort's kitchen. The incident served as a stark reminder that as the seasons shifted and winter approached, bears were still active, preparing for their long hibernation. Aspen, a town where wildlife often roamed freely, required its residents and visitors to be bear-aware at all times. This unfolding drama in the luxurious heart of the Colorado Rockies was a testament to the untamed nature of the wild, a stark reminder that even in the most opulent settings, the natural world was always present, waiting to remind us of its power and unpredictability. However, the story did not end there. The authorities were determined to locate and identify the bear responsible for this shocking encounter. As dawn broke over the mountains and the town of Aspen, the bear hunt began. Wildlife officers were on a mission to find the bear, assess the situation, and ensure the safety of the community and the bear itself. As the day unfolded and the search continued, officers managed to locate the bear, yet capturing and tranquilizing it proved to be a challenge due to concerns about public safety. The bear remained at large, and the hunt continued into the evening. Their relentless efforts led to a breakthrough when they finally spotted the bear near Connor Park. Taking immediate action, wildlife officers employed a tranquilizer gun to immobilize the bear. With the bear under control, they gently removed it from a tree using an Aspen fire ladder truck. The bear was safely taken away from the area to prevent any further risks. Tragically, the story took a sad turn as the bear, which had displayed aggressive behavior, had to be euthanized as per Colorado Parks and Wildlife policy. This difficult decision was made in the interest of public safety, a choice that was never taken lightly. The bear was sent to the CPW Wildlife Health Lab in Fort Collins for a complete autopsy, allowing for further examination and understanding of its condition and actions. The bear's identity was confirmed through unique physical characteristics observed in the security footage. A distinctive white patch on its chest was a telltale sign that this was the bear involved in the alarming kitchen encounter. The footage served as a vital piece of evidence in the investigative process. While most conflicts between humans and bears often arise due to a lack of preventive measures, this incident at the St. Regis Aspen Resort differed. The lack of food-related attractants and the overall cleanliness of the kitchen led authorities to conclude that this was an unusual situation. Amid the bear hunt, wildlife officers observed not only the bear in question, but also 8 other bears wandering around downtown Aspen. It was a stark reminder that bears remained active as they prepared for hibernation, and it was a shared responsibility for the community to give wildlife the space they needed. The incident at the St. Regis Aspen Resort left an indelible mark on the town of Aspen, a reminder that nature was always present and everyone needed to be bear-aware at all times. The luxury resort, though marred by this unexpected encounter, would continue to stand as a symbol of elegance in the heart of the wilderness. In this place, guests could find solace in the lap of nature while always being mindful of the untamed beauty surrounding them.
On the tragic day of September 6, 2022, a story of survival unfolded in the vast expanse of Alaska's untamed wilderness, where the sky meets the land in an array of raw beauty. Nicholas Cooperus, a native of the flatlands of Michigan, embarked on a journey into the heart of Alaska on this day. He was looking for the primal allure of the hunt, as well as the mysterious stillness of the wild. Nicholas, a man of 33 years who is characterized by a quiet resolve, set out on this expedition with other hunters, each of whom brought dreams and aspirations that were as limitless as the horizon of Alaska. As they pursued the elusive quarry of moose, they traversed the wooded trails and meandering paths near Glenallen, a place shrouded in the mystique of the unknown. Their steps were guided by instinct and expertise that they had honed in previous expeditions into the Alaskan wilderness. The day progressed while the towering pines kept a watchful eye on everything that was going on around them, and the rustling sounds of the animals that were hidden within the fabric of the forest were audible. The air was thick with the musty aroma of pine, and the calls of nature could be heard in the distance, resonating in a symphony of life that could only be composed by the wild. Destiny arranged an unanticipated encounter that would leave a permanent impact on their Alaskan journey as the sun began its descent toward the horizon, casting a golden hue upon the land. In the midst of the peace and quiet, a sudden rustle shattered the peace and indicated a threat on this symphony of the wilderness. After emerging from the dappled shadows of the forest, a female grizzly bear, which was both majestic and powerful, was followed by her 3 cubs. Startled by the unexpected convergence of man and beast, a moment of suspended animation ensued, a pregnant pause that held the promise of both awe and danger. The bear, who was fiercely protective of her young, and the hunters, who were taken aback by this magnificent yet intimidating presence, stood on the brink of forming an unexpected and risky alliance. The primal instincts of survival shattered the peacefulness of the Alaskan wilderness amid this unexpected contact. Her thunderous steps echoed throughout the forest floor as the female bear, startled by the hunter's presence, charged forth with a fury born of motherly protectiveness. In the face of impending danger, Nicholas experienced a sensation of time slowing down and his senses becoming heightened. He was poised on the brink of an unexpected encounter. Using the skill of someone accustomed to the wild frontier, he attempted to conjure up an impregnable shield to protect himself from the advancing force of the mother bear. The atmosphere was filled with a chorus of shouts, each one a desperate request to put a stop to the bear's imminent attack. On the other hand, the bear, immovable in her path, pressed down with constant determination on the hunting party. A moment that crystallized the fine line between survival and surrender occurred when Nicholas, unfazed by fear, reached for the lifeline nestled within his grasp. It was a canister of bear spray, a vial of hope amidst the chaos of the wild. The spray, a volatile mist that hung in the air and created a palpable barrier between man and beast, was released by Nicholas with the precision that was born out of his sense of urgency. The veil of the deterrent floated through the space that separated the predator and the prey, which was a demonstration of human ingenuity in the face of primal ferocity. Despite the resolute defense, the bear, undeterred in her maternal fervor, made contact with Nicholas's outstretched arm, leaving behind a searing imprint of puncture wounds, an example of the raw power present through the Alaskan wilderness. As the confrontation reached its peak, a symphony of chaos resonated through the trees, a discordant harmony of survival and instinct. Through the tendrils of technology, the hunters were able to call for help when they were confronted with an unexpected challenge. They activated a satellite communication device that would bridge the gap between danger and rescue. The Alaska State Troopers quickly responded to the distress signal ringing throughout the Alaskan wilderness. They quickly mobilized their resources in order to traverse the rugged expanse, which is a significant demonstration of their dedication to protecting life in the midst of the unforgiving unforgiving embrace of nature. Their aircraft sliced through the blue expanse, racing against the clock to get to the hunting party that had been injured. The troopers carried out a courageous rescue operation in the midst of the chaos and the impending unknown. They landed in the middle of the rugged terrain. They extracted Nicholas from the depths of the wilderness with skill and determination. Then they transported him to the safety of an ambulance stationed in Glenallen, where he was waiting for treatment. A combination of the wrath of nature and the resiliency of humans was etched into Nicholas's skin as a result of the turbulent events that culminated in his safe transportation to a hospital. There, the steady hands of medical professionals tended to his wounds. The aftermath of this unexpected conflict between man and the wild that had not been tamed left a lasting impression on the fabric of Alaskan folklore, reflecting through the corridors of time. Within the safe haven of recovery, Nicholas bore the scars of an encounter highlighting the unpredictable nature of the Alaskan frontier. Across the vast expanse of wild beauty and innate danger, the story of Nicholas Cooperus, which is proof of courage and resilience in the turbulent embrace of the Alaskan wild, rippled throughout the Alaskan wilderness. His story, intertwined with the essence of survival and the awe-inspiring majesty of nature, would forever echo through the corridors of wilderness lore. Nicholas Cooperus emerged from a place of struggle as the memories of the encounter gradually faded.
A group of enthusiastic tourists embarked on an adventure they would never forget in the rugged mountains of the Sierra Nevada, where the air was thin and the terrain unforgiving. One of the individuals in the group happened to be a woman named Celia Hawthorne, who possessed a deep passion for hiking and an unquenchable desire to embark on thrilling expeditions. In the year 1915, a journey was embarked upon in the wilderness, and it left an indelible mark on the lives of those who were involved in it. The experienced guide, Lucius Everest, led the tour group, which was comprised of individuals who were seeking an escape from the monotony of urban life. Each member of the group carried their own dreams, fears, and aspirations with them. Celia, who possessed a radiant spirit and had flowing red hair, stood out prominently amidst the diverse and eclectic group. The group consisted of Eleanor Sterling, an elderly botanist who had dedicated her life to the study of plants; Oliver Kane, a young and ambitious photographer who aspired to capture the world's beauty through his lens; and Kieran Blackwood, a seasoned mountaineer who had conquered numerous treacherous peaks. As the group made their way through the rocky trails, Lucius frequently paused to share tidbits about the rich history of the region. The mountains, which had silently witnessed centuries of tales, were about to reveal their long-held secrets in a manner that would catch everyone off guard. On a chilly morning, the sun cast long shadows across the jagged peaks as the group finally arrived at a breathtaking viewpoint. Lucius was encouraging them to take a moment to absorb the majestic panorama. The ancient beauties were whispered by the mountain breeze, and Celia, who was captivated by the serenity, decided to linger behind. As her companions were continuing their ascent, Celia was marveling at the awe-inspiring beauty that was surrounding her. She experienced an inexplicable connection with the mountains, as if the mountains held the answers to questions she had never dared to ask. Unbeknownst to her, fate wove a chilling tale that shattered the tranquility of the moment. A distant scream was echoing through the valleys, piercing the stillness of the mountain air. The group came to a halt, and they exchanged alarmed glances with one another. Lucius, with a face weathered by time and etched with concern, motioned for everyone to retrace the steps that had been taken. Their hearts were seized by panic as they hurried back to the viewpoint, and the echoes of the scream lingered like a haunting melody. A scene of horror awaited them, and it would forever haunt their memories. Celia was sprawled out on the rocky ground, her face twisted in agony. She was being loomed over by a dangerous wild force, a fox, with its eyes ablaze with predatory instinct. The wild creature emerged from the shadows, seizing the opportunity that was presented by the separation of its prey from the safety of the group. The beast's attack was intensified by the group's desperate cries and futile attempts to fend it off. The anguished screams of Celia reverberated through the mountains, creating a chilling symphony that echoed the delicate balance between life and death. The serene landscape was transformed into a battleground as nature itself bore witness to the untamed savagery that unfolded. As Celia's life neared its end, her gaze and Lucius's met, and she silently pleaded for salvation. However, the fox's grip remained unrelenting as it tore through flesh and bone with merciless efficiency. The group was forced to retreat by the ferocity of the beast, and they could only watch in horror as the mountains claimed one of their own. Celia's life was extinguished amid the craggy peaks, succumbing to the inevitable with a gut-wrenching finality. The fox had been satiated by its gruesome conquest. Then it disappeared into the shadows, leaving a shattered group of witnesses who were grappling with the inexplicable tragedy that had unfolded before their eyes. As the group gathered themselves, filled with grief, Lucius made a decision that was tinged with somberness. The group took Celia's lifeless body down the mountain, experiencing a harrowing descent that mirrored their emotional drop. The adventure that was once bustling had transformed into a solemn pilgrimage as they embarked on a solemn march to bear the weight of the loss. In the days that followed, the tragic incident spread like wildfire, capturing the attention of people far and wide. The media enthusiastically seized upon the sensational narrative as they drew attention to the untamed perils that lurked within the heart of the mountains. Celia's death had transformed into a cautionary tale, firmly etching her name into the illustrious annals of mountaineering lore. The impact rippled beyond the confines of the tour group and reached into the lives of those who had known Celia. Eleanor Sterling, who was forever haunted by the guilt of not staying by her side, made the decision to withdraw from the scientific community. Oliver Kane was burdened by the haunting images he had captured on film as he struggled to reconcile the beauty and brutality that were intertwined in the natural world. Kieran Blackwood, who was once considered unbeatable in the mountains, discovered that he was now grappling with an overwhelming sense of vulnerability. The mountains stood tall, unaffected by the tragedies that unfolded in their midst, as they continued to serve as guardians of both ancient and recent secrets. Celia's untimely demise had cast a shadow over the untamed beauty, serving as a poignant reminder that even within the most serene landscapes, the echoes of the wild have resounded with devastating consequences. And so time was witnessed by the mountains as they bore witness to the passing of time. The tales of those who sought adventure were recounted, and the haunting memory of the woman who was eaten alive while hiking was etched into the rugged contours of the untamed wilderness.
A harrowing tale unfolded in the heart of Botswana, a land where the Kalahari Desert meets the lush Okavango Delta. It was the summer of 2001, a year marked by the vibrant influx of wildlife in this part of South Africa. Drawn by the allure of this natural wonder, three friends, Jack Turner, a bold and adventurous spirit, Emily Carter, a wildlife enthusiast, and Lucas Green, an aspiring nature photographer, embarked on a journey that would forever change their perception of the wild. Their adventure began in a small, bustling town on the edge of the Kalahari, known for its rich culture and as a gateway to the wonders of Botswana. Eager to delve into the heart of the wilderness, the trio rented an off-road vehicle, sturdy and reliable but unremarkable in appearance. They were excited, their minds buzzing with the possibilities ahead. As they ventured into Botswana's vast open landscapes, the trio was greeted by scenes of remarkable beauty. The desert's golden hues contrasted with the delta's lush green, creating a mosaic of nature's finest work. Herds of elephants roamed freely while antelopes and zebras dotted the horizon. The first few days were blissful, filled with laughter and awe-inspiring encounters with wildlife. With her keen interest in animal behavior, Emily guided their explorations, leading them to hidden spots where they could observe the animals in their natural habitat. One morning, as they set out for another adventure, Lucas suggested they try to find a cheetah, one of the African savanna's most elusive and majestic creatures. The idea was met with enthusiastic agreement, and they set off, their eyes scanning the landscape for any signs of the spotted predator. As they drove deeper into the wilderness, the terrain became more rugged, the paths less defined. The sun beat down mercilessly, but their spirits were undeterred. After hours of searching, their patience paid off. In the distance, they spotted a cheetah, its sleek body moving gracefully through the tall grass. Excitement surged through them as they slowly approached, careful not to startle the magnificent animal. Lucas readied his camera, eager to capture this moment. The cheetah, seemingly aware of their presence, paused and looked directly at them, its amber eyes piercing through the camera's lens. It was a moment of magic, a connection between man and beast, a testament to the beauty of the untamed world. But as they reveled in this encounter, an unsettling feeling began to creep over Jack. He couldn't shake the sensation that they were not alone. His instincts were soon confirmed. Out of the corner of his eye, he spotted movement. Another cheetah, but this one was different. It was larger, its eyes not filled with curiosity, but with a predatory glint. Before he could react, the cheetah charged toward their vehicle. Panic set in. Emily screamed, urging Lucas to drive away. But in his shock, Lucas froze, his hands gripping the steering wheel. The cheetah collided with the car, its powerful body shaking the vehicle. They were trapped, the engine stalled, and the cheetah circled them, its growls sending shivers down their spines. They realized with horror that they were in the territory of a cheetah, and they had unwittingly provoked their defensive instincts. The situation was dire. The windows were their only barrier, and they knew it wouldn't hold against the strength of the enraged animal. Jack, trying to remain calm, attempted to restart the car. The engine sputtered but failed to turn over. Sensing their vulnerability, the cheetah intensified its attacks, clawing at the doors and windows. The sound of its claws scraping against the metal was like a death knell. Inside the car, fear gripped them. They were miles away from civilization and could not call for help. The brutal reality of their situation set in. They were at the mercy of the wild, a harsh reminder of nature's indifference to human life. As the cheetah continued its assault, the car began to give way. The windows cracked under the relentless force, the barrier between them and the cheetah thinning with every strike. Their hearts raced, their minds grappling with the certainty of what was to come. The sun began to set, casting long shadows across the savannah. In the car, the three friends held hands, their eyes locked in a silent understanding. They had ventured into the wild, seeking adventure, but now they faced the ultimate test of survival. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting an eerie glow over the savannah, the situation inside the car grew more desperate. The cheetah, relentless in its assault, found a weak spot, a small crack in one of the windows. With a burst of strength, it shattered the glass, its claws reaching inside. Panic erupted. Emily screamed, her voice shrill with terror as she tried to shield herself from the cheetah's razor-sharp claws. Lucas, driven by instinct, tried to fend off the animal with his bare hands, while Jack desperately searched for anything that could be used as a weapon. The car, once a haven, had become a trap. The cheetah's snarls filled the confined space, its breath hot and foul. Its eyes, wild with the hunt, locked onto its prey. In a moment of clarity amidst the chaos, Emily remembered the pepper spray in her backpack. She fumbled for it, her hands shaking uncontrollably, but time was not on their side. The cheetah, encouraged by the breach, lunged further into the car, its teeth bared. In one swift, horrifying moment, it clamped its jaws around Lucas's arm. Blood spurted, painting the interior of the car in a grim tableau. Lucas's screams pierced the night, a sound of pure agony. Fueled by adrenaline, Jack grabbed a camera tripod and swung it at the cheetah. The animal recoiled momentarily, but its survival instincts were fierce. It released Lucas only to turn its attention to Jack. With a mighty leap, it knocked him to the floor of the car, its weight crushing him. Emily, her eyes wide with horror, managed to grab the pepper spray. She aimed it at the cheetah and pressed the nozzle, releasing a cloud of irritant. The cheetah yowled, its senses assaulted by the spray, but it was too late. The car was a scene of carnage, the air thick with the smell of blood and fear. Lucas, severely wounded, lay motionless, his life slipping away. Jack, beneath the cheetah, struggled feebly, his strength fading. Emily, cornered and trembling, knew there was no escape. The cheetah's eyes, red from the pepper spray, turned towards her, its primal instincts overriding any discomfort. In those final moments, the raw power of the wild was undeniable. The cheetah, a creature of beauty and terror, had asserted its dominance. Facing the inevitable, Emily closed her eyes, her thoughts drifting to her loved ones and her life. The savannah, with its unforgiving laws of nature, had claimed them. The night fell silent, the only sounds being the soft rustle of the grass and the distant calls of nocturnal animals. The mangled, wrecked car stood as a grim reminder of the encounter. Inside, the three friends lay still, their adventure ending in a way none could have imagined. As dawn broke, the savannah awoke to another day, indifferent to the unfolding tragedy. The cheetah, its hunger sated, had vanished into the wilderness, leaving behind a scene that would soon be discovered by the first rays of the morning sun. In Botswana, the heart of the wild beat on, relentless and unfazed, a land where the line between life and death was as thin as the crack in a car window. Raina was a spirited biology student who had a passion for animals that went beyond the confines of academics. She thrived in the midst of the diverse landscapes and university culture that Michigan had to offer. Her fascination with wild animals was not confined to the pages of books and lectures. Rather, it could be described as a vibrant, living fixation that influenced every aspect of her life. Within the confines of a well-known zoo in Detroit, Raina was able to find peace and quiet in the midst of the rigorous lectures and exhausting lab sessions she was required to attend. There, in the midst of the variety of animals, she discovered a safe haven. Her visits were not merely a casual occurrence, rather, they were a form of connection with the natural world, an implicit relationship that was forged between her and the animals that displayed themselves in the enclosures. Raina had become a well-known figure within the university as a result of her years of dedication to animal welfare. She was a deeply committed individual who tirelessly volunteered her time for a variety of organizations that advocated for the welfare of animals. The compassion and dedication that she had shown toward these causes had earned her the admiration and respect of her peers. On this particular day, Raina made her way to the zoo with an eagerness that was comparable to the anticipation that a child feels on the morning of Christmas. The place where she is going? The enclosure of Serena, a polar bear who had traveled from the Arctic to the zoo, had won the hearts and sympathy of a great number of people from all over the world. Serena's arrival had been marked by a narrative that was both heartbreaking and hopeful, and it had been months since she had arrived. Raina's heart swelled with warmth as she witnessed the sight of the bear, which had been malnourished in the past, now adorned with a robust coat, basking in the golden rays of the sun. Raina was eager to capture the moment at hand, so she used her dependable camera, which had become an extension of her being, and had faithfully documented her numerous encounters with various species of wildlife. But fate had other plans. A slip of the hand sent the camera hurtling into Serena's enclosure, eliciting gasps from onlookers. Raina stretched out in an attempt to retrieve her cherished camera, but she ended up losing her balance and falling into the icy waters of the artificial pool that was contained within the enclosure. During the time that Raina was struggling to resurface, those watching were overcome with panic. Her heart was racing with fear and a sense of urgency. Due to the unexpected intrusion, Serena was taken aback and became aware of an unfamiliar danger. Instincts that she had honed through the process of surviving in the Arctic came into conflict with the growing rapport that she had developed with the humans that were around her. The enclosure turned into a battlefield, where instinct and fear fought a war in silence against one another. The attempts that Raina made to get away from the icy waters filled her with desperation. However, Serena's response was quick and instinctual. Primitive instincts dictated the actions of the polar bear, which overruled any semblance of connection she had formed with humans. Serena immediately growled and bit Raina's arms, before taking her to the slippery floor of the enclosure. The tranquil scene shattered into chaos as Serena, propelled by fear and territoriality, closed the distance between herself and Raina. Serena did not show any reluctance and proceeded to viciously bite and scratch Raina's face, causing her to bleed profusely and scream in order to convey the excruciating pain that she was experiencing as a result of the attack. During the course of Serena's powerful jaws and razor-sharp claws continuing to leave their mark on Raina's trembling body, the sounds of terror mixed with the cries of helplessness that were coming from the despairing woman. Blood stained the icy waters, which was a striking contrast to the peacefulness that had once adorned the enclosure for its picturesque appearance. A collective gasp resonated through the atmosphere as both the visitors and the handlers watched in horrified disbelief. The emergency response team, which had been trained to deal with situations of this severity, rushed to the enclosure, armed with rubber bullet guns that were designed to eliminate the threat without causing Serena any lasting damage. The terrifying scene played out in a haze of nervousness and a sense of urgency. Serena was struck by the rubber bullets, which rendered her immobile and caused her to exhibit a state of confusion and subdued aggression. This made it possible for the team to quickly remove Raina, who was unconscious, from the enclosure. A battle between life and death took place in the hospital's sterile corridors. Reina's critical condition was stabilized by medical professionals who worked tirelessly to bring her condition under control. Their expertise and dedication served as a ray of hope amidst the chaos. While Reina teetered on the edge of existence, the hours interminably stretched out into eternity. Her body bore the physical remnants of Serena's frenzied attack, which served as a visceral reminder of the unpredictable nature that lurks within the animal kingdom. Reina's ability to stay positive in the face of unrelenting adversity was demonstrated by the collective sigh of relief that echoed throughout the hospital as dawn broke. Despite the fact that her condition was dangerous, it became stable, providing her with a fragile lifeline that connected her to the world that she cherished. During this time, Serena, who had previously been a representation of vulnerability, would begin a journey of rehabilitation in a secluded enclosure. This accomplishment would serve as a demonstration of the zoo's dedication to promoting harmony between humans and the animals that they care for. In spite of the fact that she was scarred by the ordeal, Reina's spirit remained unbroken as the days turned into weeks, and she emerged from the shadows of trauma. It was an unbreakable flame that was ignited by empathy and understanding that fueled her love for animal advocacy, which burned brighter than previously. The incident sent shockwaves through the hallways of the university, serving as an important lesson that prompted conversations about safety protocols and the delicate balance that exists between human fascination and the inherent unpredictability of wildlife. The zoo, which had previously been a haven of peace, was now buzzing with reflection. Conversations about responsible interaction and measures to safeguard both humans and animals resonated through the halls, a poignant reflection on the complexities of our coexistence. Reina's story served as a powerful illustration of the enduring power of empathy and resilience throughout everything that transpired. A guiding light, an everlasting reminder of the delicate harmony that exists between humans and wild animals. Her unflinching love for animals, which was unaffected even in the face of tragedy, served as a powerful example. In the heart of Tanzania, a land steeped in the wild beauty of Africa, lies the Makaloa Reserve. Known for its sprawling landscapes and abundant wildlife, Makaloa is a haven for those seeking to immerse themselves in the raw essence of nature. Asha Mwangi, a 30-year-old Kenyan tour guide known for her radiant smile and deep understanding of the African wilderness. Samuel Nyorogi, a local guide wise beyond his years with an innate ability to read the subtle language of the savannah. With her keen eyes and a heart full of adventure, Asha had found her calling in the wild expanses of Makaloa. Samuel, born and raised in the shadows of Mount Kilimanjaro, carried the wisdom of the land in his every word and gesture. On June 15, 2005, the day was typical for Makaloa, a vast blue sky stretching over an endless sea of golden grass. Asha, alongside Samuel, led their group of tourists, their hearts brimming with anticipation. The safari vehicle, a sturdy vessel in this wilderness sea, moved through the reserve, offering glimpses of Africa's majestic fauna. The group marveled at herds of elephants bathing in the mud, zebras playfully chasing each other, and giraffes elegantly browsing the treetops. Asha's explanations, infused with her passion for these creatures, made the experience all the more enchanting. The afternoon in Makaloa Reserve was serene, with the sun casting a warm golden light over the landscape. The safari vehicle carrying Asha, Samuel, and their group moved slowly through a less traveled part of the reserve. The grass grew taller here, and the sense of being in the wild was more profound. In this secluded area, a lioness lay hidden in the tall grass, her body still, her eyes alert. She was not alone. Nestled close to her were her cubs, their small forms barely visible in the dense vegetation. The lioness's instincts were tuned to the safety of her young, every sense focused on protecting them from any potential threat. The group, absorbed in the sights and sounds of the African bush, were unaware of the lioness's presence. Their attention was drawn instead to a distant spectacle, a herd of wildebeest moving across the plain in a slow, rhythmic dance of nature. As the vehicle edged closer, the lioness's attention sharpened. The proximity of the strangers to her hidden offspring triggered a primal response. In a flash, her body tensed, and then, with an explosion of power, she burst from her hiding place. The lioness's charge was a blur of speed and ferocity. Asha, who had stood up to get a better view for her guests, had her back to the lioness. She had no time to react. The lioness closed the distance with startling swiftness, her focus locked on the perceived threat. With a mighty leap, the lioness reached Asha, her jaws snapping shut on Asha's arm. The force of the impact knocked Asha off her feet, her scream of pain and shock cutting through the calm of the reserve. The sound was a harrowing alarm that echoed across the savannah, sending birds flying from nearby trees. The vehicle erupted into chaos. The tourists, startled from their awestruck observation of the wildebeest, were suddenly thrown into a scene of terror. Screams filled the air, a cacophony of fear and confusion. Samuel, despite the shock, sprang into action. His first instinct was to protect his guests and assist Asha. He shouted commands to stay calm even as he maneuvered the vehicle to put distance between the lioness and the group. The lioness, her protective instincts momentarily overtaken by aggression, maintained her grip on Asha. But as the vehicle started to move and the shouts and noises intensified, she sensed the retreat of the threat. Realizing her cubs were no longer in immediate danger, she released Asha. With a final, intense glance at the humans who had invaded her space, the lioness backed away. She moved with caution and dignity, her eyes never leaving the retreating vehicle. Safely back in the cover of the tall grass, she gathered her cubs around her, ensuring they were unharmed. Asha, in shock and pain, was tended to by Samuel and some of the tourists who had first aid training. They applied a makeshift tourniquet to stem the bleeding from her arm, which was severely injured. Samuel radioed the reserve headquarters for emergency assistance. Within minutes, a rescue team arrived, their vehicle kicking up a cloud of dust as they hurried to the scene. Asha was rushed to the nearest hospital, where doctors worked tirelessly to save her arm. However, the damage inflicted by the lioness was too severe. An amputation was the only option to save her life. The news of the attack spread quickly, stirring a mix of concern and a renewed awareness of the unpredictability of wildlife. Makaloa Reserve officials emphasized that such incidents were rare and stressed the importance of respecting the natural behavior of these wild creatures. Asha's recovery was a journey marked by resilience and an unbroken spirit. She faced her new reality with remarkable courage, refusing to let this incident diminish her love for the wilderness. She became an advocate for wildlife conservation, sharing her story to educate others about the importance of understanding and respecting the boundaries between humans and wildlife. Her experience served as a powerful reminder of the wild's untamed nature. Asha returned to Makaloa, not as a guide, but as an ambassador for wildlife safety. She spoke to tourists and locals alike, her message clear: coexistence with wildlife demands respect, understanding, and caution. In the heart of Tanzania, under the vast African sky, Asha's legacy thrived. Her story resonated in the roar of lions, the rustle of the grass, and the whispers of the wind, a tale of respect, survival, and the deep, enduring connection between humans and the wild. In the heart of Kenya, where the golden savanna meets the azure sky, lies the imaginary yet breathtaking Kichaka National Park. Renowned for its sprawling landscapes and rich wildlife, Kichaka has become a sanctuary for those who seek an intimate encounter with nature's wonders. Emily Carter is a 32-year-old American tour guide known for her fiery red hair and boundless enthusiasm for African wildlife. Joseph Kiprono, a seasoned Kenyan guide whose deep-set eyes and gentle demeanor reflected his profound connection with the land. With a degree in wildlife biology and a lifelong dream of exploring Africa, Emily found her calling in Kichaka. Joseph, a local Maasai, had grown up on these plains and knew them like the back of his hand. August 12, 1999, dawned with a promise of adventure. The air was crisp and filled with the sounds of the waking savanna. Emily and Joseph greeted their group of tourists with warm smiles, setting the tone for a day of exploration. As they journeyed through Kichaka, Emily's knowledge and passion were evident. She spoke of the balance of ecosystems, the role of each animal, and the beauty of coexistence. The group was captivated by sightings of grazing giraffes, playful antelopes, and a distant herd of elephants moving like a slow gray river. Near midday, they stopped by a serene river for lunch. The tourists were buzzing with excitement, sharing photos and experiences. Watching a group of hippos wallowing, Emily felt a deep sense of contentment. Little did she know that the day would take an unforeseeable turn. The afternoon in Kichaka National Park was unfolding under a serene sky, with the sun casting elongated shadows across the savanna. Emily Carter, alongside her colleague Joseph Caprono, guided their group of eager tourists, their eyes feasting upon a pride of lions resting in the distance. The air was filled with the soft clicks and whirs of cameras and hushed voices as the group observed the majestic creatures. Ever passionate and wanting to offer the best experience, Emily edged slightly closer to the side of the open-top vehicle for a clearer view. She reminded her group to remain seated and maintain a respectful silence. The lions, seemingly undisturbed, lazed under the African sun, their tawny coats blending into the golden grass. Without warning, the tranquility shattered. An enormous male lion, previously unseen, charged with a burst of terrifying speed from the tall grass. Its target was unexpectedly Emily, who stood closest to the edge. The lion's powerful body collided with hers, its massive paws striking her with such force that she was instantly pulled from the vehicle. Panic ensued. The tourists, frozen in shock, screamed in horror. With years of experience but never having faced such a situation, Joseph scrambled to react. He shouted, attempting to distract the lion, but the animal was undeterred. The lion's jaws clamped down on Emily's arm, dragging her away from the vehicle. She struggled, her screams piercing the air, mixing with the roars of the lion. The pride, roused by the commotion, began to stir, their eyes fixed on the unfolding scene. Emily, though in immense pain and fear, fought bravely. She tried to hit the lion to free herself from its unyielding grip, but the beast's strength was overwhelming. The lion dragged her further into the grass, away from any hope of immediate rescue. Joseph, realizing the gravity of the situation, urgently called for help while trying to keep the remaining lions at bay. In a state of shock, the tourists were urged to stay quiet to avoid attracting more attention from the pride. As the lion dragged Emily further, her struggles weakened. The majestic creature, embodying nature's raw and untamed power, seemed oblivious to the chaos it had caused. Within moments, the grassy savanna hid them from view, leaving behind a trail of disturbed earth and a group of horrified onlookers. Emergency services, upon receiving the distress call, arrived with haste. The park rangers, alongside medical personnel, launched a frantic search. They found Emily some distance from the site of the attack, grievously injured and unconscious. Upon hearing the approaching vehicles, the lion had retreated into the savanna. Despite the swift and efficient medical response, Emily's injuries were beyond recovery. She had suffered significant trauma and heartbreakingly succumbed to her wounds before she could be airlifted to a hospital. The park was immediately closed, and the tourists, still shocked, were escorted back to the park headquarters. Joseph, though experienced in the ways of the savannah, was deeply shaken. He recounted the incident to the authorities, his voice tinged with disbelief and sorrow. He couldn't fathom why the lion had attacked. It was an anomaly, a rare deviation from the predictable behavior of wildlife in Kichaka. Kenyan wildlife officials were deeply affected by the tragedy. They extended their heartfelt condolences to Emily's family and friends, reiterating that such incidents were sporadic. They assured the public that comprehensive measures were being implemented to ensure the safety of both visitors and wildlife in the park. The lion, identified as a young male likely acting out of confusion and fear, was located and carefully relocated to a more isolated part of the park, away from tourist routes. This harrowing event served as a stark reminder of the unpredictable nature of wildlife and the inherent risks in wilderness areas. It prompted a thorough review of safety protocols in Kichaka and sparked broader discussions about coexistence with nature's untamed inhabitants. Emily's tragic end catalyzed change, ensuring that her love for the wild would not be forgotten and would continue to inspire safer, more respectful wildlife tourism. The news of Emily Carter's tragic demise echoed across continents. Tributes poured in, honoring her love for wildlife and her commitment to conservation. After the tragedy, discussions about wildlife tourism, safety protocols, and the ethical boundaries of human-animal interactions gained momentum. A foundation in Emily's name was established, focusing on educating tourists about responsible wildlife engagement and supporting conservation efforts in Kichaka. The foundation also started a scholarship for young women aspiring to careers in wildlife biology, a fitting tribute to Emily's life and dreams. Kichaka National Park reopened in the following years with new safety measures and an educational center named after Emily. Visitors to the park would often hear her story, a poignant reminder of the respect and caution required when entering the domain of the wild. Under the vast Kenyan sky, where the sun sets in a blaze of colors, Emily's spirit lingered. In the roars of lions, the rustling of grass, and the gentle breeze, her love for Kichaka lived on, a testament to the complex, often unfathomable relationship between humans and the untamed world. In the expansive Grand Canyon, where colossal rocks and a meandering river create a mesmerizing panorama, a tale began weaving its intricate threads long before the shadows of tragedy darkened the famous skywalk. Picture a 33-year-old man, an intrepid adventurer traversing the canyon's edges with a backpack slung over his shoulder, eagerly exploring the ancient wonders concealed within. As he ventured deeper into the canyon's labyrinth, our adventurer stumbled upon a hidden cave, a secluded sanctuary away from the bustling crowds of the skywalk. The cave, adorned with ancient rocks and a gentle stream, beckoned him to linger. Guided by an insatiable curiosity, he made this concealed alcove his temporary refuge. Days unfolded into nights, and the man discovered solace in the serene tranquility of the canyon. The Grand Canyon, with its majestic cliffs and the soothing melody of a meandering river, became his sanctuary. The skywalk, a distant silhouette against the expansive sky, remained secondary to the intimate connection he forged with the natural wonders around him. Unbeknownst to our adventurer, the canyon held secrets, ancient stories of spirits and mysteries that whispered through the ages, carried by the wind that swept through the canyon corridors. Yet, immersed in the tranquility of his secluded retreat, he remained blissfully unaware of the unseen forces stirring beneath the surface. As the days unfurled, a subtle change in the canyon's energy became palpable. The once friendly echoes now carried an unexplained tension, and nature, with its silent wisdom, hinted at an impending shift. It foreshadowed events that would disrupt the tranquility he had come to cherish. On a quiet morning, as he emerged from his cave sanctuary, the canyon felt different. Once filled with the sweet fragrance of blooming flowers, the air now carried an eerie stillness. Unseen eyes watched as he approached the skywalk, drawn by an invisible force that guided his steps toward the horseshoe-shaped glass bridge. And then, in the blink of an eye, tragedy struck. A force beyond comprehension propelled him over the edge, his scream swallowed by the canyon's vastness. The skywalk, once a symbol of human triumph, became a silent witness to the inexplicable fall that sent shockwaves through the natural amphitheater. Unaware of the mystical dance between man and canyon, the Mojave County Sheriff's Office search and rescue team responded swiftly. Rope specialists and a Kingman DPS Ranger helicopter descended upon the scene, their efforts futile as they discovered his lifeless body on the canyon floor. The tragedy that unfolded on June 5, 2023, held within its layers a story that began with a solitary adventurer finding solace in the embrace of the Grand Canyon. It is a tale of mystery and tragedy, where the lines between reality and the unseen forces governing the ancient landscape blurred, leaving unanswered questions that echoed through the canyon's majestic corridors. As the story continued, it left an air of sadness lingering like the echoes in the canyon. With its ancient secrets, the Grand Canyon carried the weight of a sad event, and the skywalk, once a place of wonder, became a silent witness to a tale that transcended the boundaries of time and understanding. The canyon walls, steeped in history, stood as sentinels guarding the mysteries unfolding in their vast embrace. And so the canyon held within its depths the echoes of the past and the pain of a day that changed its quiet corners forever. The story of the man, the cave, and the mysterious forces became a part of the Grand Canyon's timeless record, etched into the fabric of its ancient walls. As the sun continued to rise and set over the canyon, the echoes of this tale reverberated through time, becoming an inseparable part of the canyon's rich and enduring history. The shadows of mystery loom over the tale of Sandra Johnson Hughes, a woman who embarked on a solo journey into the heart of the Sierra National Forest. The enigma began on June 26, 2020, when Sandra, a lover of the outdoors and a self-proclaimed survivalist, shared her plans with her family. The chaos of the world, exacerbated by the ongoing pandemic, led her to leave her Hawaiian home and relocate to California, seeking solace amidst the mainland's vast landscapes. Aged 53, Sandra's passion for camping, hiking, and exploration defined her essence. Her deep connection with nature drove her towards the Sierra National Forest, where she envisioned a solo camping and hiking escapade, possibly reaching the iconic Yosemite. Little did she know that this journey would become a perplexing enigma, shrouded in the mysteries of the wilderness. As Sandra traversed towards the Sierra National Forest over the 4th of July weekend in 2020, her destination was the Johnson's Meadow area, a tranquil spot about 10 miles, 16.09 kilometers, south of Yosemite. The initial days of her expedition unfolded with routine casualness. But on the 4th of July, hikers saw Sandra walking barefoot with a bruise on her face. Concerned, the hikers approached Sandra and checked if she needed any medical assistance, to which she declined. However, as the days passed, a sinister silence enveloped Sandra's existence. All forms of communication ceased, posing a major red flag for relatives of individuals who engage in wilderness activities. The casual getaway gave way to an unsettling absence, prompting concern and raising questions about the fate of the seasoned outdoorswoman. The turning point arrived on July 5, 2020, when officials from the Sierra National Forest stumbled upon Sandra's campsite. What they discovered was far from the expected orderliness that defined Sandra's character. The campsite was in a state of total disarray, with personal belongings and documents scattered haphazardly, a stark departure from Sandra's meticulous nature. The disarray raised more questions than answers, turning the search for Sandra into a desperate quest for truth. The unraveling mystery deepened on July 6, 2020, when Sandra's silver sub was discovered in Chiquito Creek, north of her campsite. The vehicle bore the marks of a crash at a speed of less than 20 miles per hour, a puzzling scenario in the vast wilderness. Speculations arose. Had Sandra taken evasive action, startled by something unknown, or was there a more ominous force at play? Further perplexity awaited on July 12, 2020, when Sandra's sleeping bag was found 2.5 miles, 4.02 kilometers, north of her abandoned vehicle just inside the border of Yosemite National Park. The eerie trail of clues unfolded against the backdrop of the dense and unforgiving landscape, adding layers to the mystery that enveloped Sandra's disappearance. The timeline of uncertainties continued to unfold. On August 9, 2020, 2 hunters reported a sighting of Sandra near Portuguese Creek. The description offered a haunting glimpse. Sandra appeared thinner than depicted in missing person posters, clad in overalls and a floral shirt. She leaned against a tree, sipping water, displaying no signs of distress. This sighting marked the last confirmed encounter with Sandra, leaving search parties confounded. The case remained dormant until July 21, 2021, when another chapter of the enigma unfolded. The Gorba family on a trip to Shutai Peak experienced a surreal encounter involving their 3-year-old Caden. During a lunch stop, Caden spoke of a woman lying face down in a meadow, legs straight up, unable to speak or move. The family and subsequent searches by the Madera County Sheriff's Office revealed nothing tangible, adding another layer of mystique to Sandra's tale. As of the video's production, no signs of Sandra, whether alive or otherwise, have emerged. The woods of Yosemite National Park guard the secrets of her fate, leaving the narrative suspended in uncertainty. The echoes of Caden's words reverberate, suggesting a spectral connection to Sandra within the mystical grounds. The narrative weaves a series of unanswered questions, each detail adding to the enigma. Sandra Johnson Hughes, once a vibrant explorer of nature, now exists in the realm of shadows and speculation. The Sierra National Forest, with its vast expanse and hidden intricacies, conceals the truth behind her disappearance, casting an air of mystery over the fate of a woman lost in the wilderness. 2010. A chilling adventure unfolded under the scorching sun of Tanzania's endless savanna. This vast plain, teeming with diverse wildlife, attracted many, including 3 daring souls. Michael Henderson, a veteran wildlife photographer, Sarah Jenkins, an African fauna expert, and David Thompson, an enthusiast of wild adventures. Their paths crossed in a modest town on the savanna's edge, a popular base for tourists seeking the raw allure of the Tanzanian wilderness. United by their love for nature, the trio embarked on a self-guided safari. They rented a sturdy, nondescript 4-wheel drive designed for the savanna's challenging terrain. Their first day was a mesmerizing experience. Surrounded by the savanna's vibrant life, zebras and wildebeests grazed harmoniously while majestic giraffes stood tall amongst acacia trees. That night, under a starlit sky, They camped safely away from the wild inhabitants, sharing tales of past escapades, lulled to sleep by distant lion roars. The following dawn greeted them with the serene symphony of chirping birds and rustling leaves. Keen to capture the sunrise, Michael proposed a drive to a nearby hill. With her sharp eyes, Sarah noticed a pride of lions in the distance. The sight was spellbinding. The lions embodied the wild's untamed magnificence. However, as they approached their destination, David felt an unsettling sensation. Despite Sarah's reassurance, attributing it to the natural anxiety of their environment, David couldn't shake off the feeling of being watched. Michael reached the hill and captured the sunrise's golden splendor, a moment of peace and beauty. But this tranquility was short-lived. A rustle in the nearby brush grabbed their attention, yet all they saw was the grass swaying in the breeze. Their journey continued, and they opted for a less trodden path, eager to encounter elusive wildlife. The road, narrow and enveloped by dense vegetation, rattled their vehicle as they delved deeper into the wild. By midday, the sun's heat was overwhelming. Exhausted, they paused near a small clearing surrounded by towering grasses. Distant bird calls and the whisper of the wind occasionally broke the savanna's quietude. Michael stepped out to photograph their surroundings, joined by Sarah, curious about the local flora. Left alone, David felt a growing sense of isolation, the vast savanna now daunting. He scanned the horizon for his friends, hidden by the tall grass. Time passed and David's anxiety intensified. He stepped out, calling for his friends, but silence answered him. The atmosphere was unsettling. A few steps away from the car, a low growl halted him. His heart raced as he realized they weren't alone. Hidden in the grass was a predator. David's knowledge of wild animals surged, reminding him not to run. He backed towards the car slowly, trying to locate the source of the growling. The growl grew louder, more threatening as David reached for the car door, his eyes frantically searching the grass. Suddenly, a lion burst from its camouflage, its powerful form and deadly canines a terrifying sight. David's instincts kicked in. He stumbled backward, throwing himself into the vehicle and slamming the door shut just in time. His heart pounded fiercely, echoing the lion's predatory circling outside. Trapped inside, David was engulfed by fear and disbelief. He needed to alert Michael and Sarah, but was cut off by the lack of cell signal, their isolation transforming from an exhilarating thrill to a suffocating trap. The lion's growls penetrated the thin barrier of the car, its piercing gaze seeming to look right through him. In a desperate attempt to attract his friend's attention, David honked the horn repeatedly. The lion, startled by the noise, briefly retreated but remained close, drawn irresistibly to the potential prey inside the car. Time stretched on, each passing minute amplifying the sense of looming disaster. David scanned the horizon for any sign of Michael and Sarah, but the savanna offered no solace, only an endless expanse of grass and the relentless African sun. Then in the distance, two figures emerged. Relief washed over David, but terror quickly replaced it. The lion noticed them too and crouched, preparing to strike. David's fear turned into sheer panic. He pounded on the windows, his voice lost in the vastness of the savanna. Unaware of the danger, Michael and Sarah continued their approach, their casual chatter and laughter contrasting with the grave situation. Realizing he had to do more, David started the car, revving the engine to create as much noise as possible. The lion, agitated by the commotion, paced restlessly, its tail flicking in irritation. Michael and Sarah finally sensed something was amiss and quickened their pace. David gestured frantically towards the lion, partially hidden in the grass as they approached. Their expressions shifted from confusion to horror as they grasped their peril. The lion, feeling cornered, let out a thunderous roar that reverberated across the savanna. Michael and Sarah froze, their instincts for survival awakening. They realized they had only seconds to react. Leveraging his knowledge of wildlife behavior, Michael whispered to Sarah to slowly back away, avoiding sudden movements. David watched helplessly from within the car, torn between staying safe inside and rushing out to aid his friends. His mind raced, searching for any way to distract the lion or distract it from Michael and Sarah. The standoff was palpable, a deadly confrontation under the scorching Tanzanian sun. The lion's gaze shifted between the car and the two figures, calculating its next move. At this moment, the savanna's beauty morphed into a stage for a primal, terrifying showdown. The suspenseful standoff in the Tanzanian savanna reached a critical point. Michael and Sarah, inching backward with their eyes locked on the lion, felt the moment's intensity. Inside the car, David, his hands white-knuckled on the steering wheel, watched in agony, torn between the urge to help and the need to stay safe. In a sudden shift, the lion redirected its focus to the car. Seizing this chance, Michael whispered to Sarah to move now. With a burst of adrenaline, they sprinted towards the vehicle, their only hope of escape. The lion, realizing its prey was attempting to flee, roared and gave chase. Fear lent speed to their feet as they desperately raced across the savannah, the car seeming an eternity away. Seeing their perilous dash, David unlocked the doors and told her to hurry. The lion, powerful and swift, was closing in rapidly. Sarah glanced back and saw the lion just feet away, its jaws ready to strike. Michael and Sarah reached the car at the last moment, throwing themselves inside. David slammed his foot on the accelerator, the car jerking forward as the lion collided with its side, its claws screeching against the metal. They sped away, leaving the lion's roars diminishing behind them. Silence enveloped the car as each person processed the terror they had narrowly escaped. Once a symbol of untamed beauty, the savannah around them now served as a stark reminder of their vulnerability in the face of nature's raw force. They formed a profound bond as they returned to the town's safety. They had stared death in the face and survived. This harrowing experience deepened their respect for the wild and its inhabitants. They were reminded that in the vast, untamed wilderness of Tanzania, humans were transient guests in the domain of the wild. The incident became a pivotal moment in their lives, a story of survival against all odds in the heart of the Tanzanian savannah, where nature's rules reigned supreme. The African sun rose steadily over the vast expanse of the Limpopo River, painting the landscape in a palette of golden hues and casting elongated shadows across the rugged terrain. This untamed wilderness served as both a sanctuary and a hunting ground, and it was a place where the heartbeats of nature could be heard echoing through the grass fields and the ancient trees. A seasoned hunter and owner of SS Pro Safaris, Scott Van Zyl was no stranger to the wilds of southern Africa. His life revolved around these wild lands, where the excitement of hunting was not only a profession, but also a passion for him. The 7th of April, 2017, was a turning point in the story of Scott's daring adventures. As he set out on a hunting safari along the banks of the Limpopo River, he was accompanied by a tracker from Zimbabwe, as well as a pack of dogs. The promise of the day's adventure, mingling with the fragrant scents of the wilderness, created an atmosphere infused with anticipation. As the day unfurled, Scott and his tracker ventured deeper into the bush, each step an exploration into the unknown. The dogs, who were faithful companions of their human master, eagerly followed, their senses pulsating with the rhythm of the wild. Even though the sun was rising higher, which illuminated the vastness of the landscape, there was a tense silence that became prevalent throughout the expedition. After several hours had passed, the typical symphony generated by the bush was noticeably absent. Although they were normally alert and active, the dogs came back to the camp by themselves, their demeanor revealing an unspoken worry. Those left behind were overcome with a palpable sense of unease at the campsite. There was no sign of Scott's rifle, which was practically an extension of his skilled hands. The fact that his belongings were still in the same place where he had left them was a haunting reminder of his sudden disappearance. A flurry of activity was sparked due to the panic that spread throughout the safari team. A frantic search started, and it was a mosaic of different efforts that came together to find the hunter who had gone missing. It was a race against time as helicopters sliced through the blue sky, their whirring blades cutting through the air as they flew through the air. T-divers plunged into the murky depths of the Limpopo River, their mission a relentless pursuit of clues beneath the surface. In an effort to locate any sign of their missing companion, trackers searched everywhere. Throughout the days, there was a never-ending search for answers. It was discovered that footprints led inexorably to the edge of the river. A backpack had been abandoned in the middle of the verdant undergrowth, serving as a haunting reminder of Scott's mysterious vanishing. An ancient and dangerous predator, the Nile crocodile, was hiding in the Limpopo River, known for its tranquil appearance and rippling currents. These reptilian behemoths patrolled the waters with a strong instinct for survival, and they were stealthy by nature and primitive in appearance. There was a growing suspicion that these magnificent yet dangerous creatures had taken Scott as their unwitting prey, and the whispers became increasingly louder on the subject. There were reports that surfaced, each of which wove a story of catastrophe and terror. When forensic experts began searching through the stomachs of the crocodiles for any signs of the missing hunter, they came to a chilling and disturbing realization. Speculations and apprehension were mixed in the air, and the atmosphere was filled with the eerie echoes of uncertainty. The tragic end that had befallen Scott Van Zyl was revealed by DNA tests, which served as a guiding light of truth in the midst of a cloud of uncertainty. The man who had traveled across continents in search of elusive prey had found himself the target of the hunt. He had been taken by the jaws of one of the most dangerous predators in the natural world. A patchwork of melancholy and introspection was the aftermath of what had happened. Mourning the loss of a man who had carved his way through the wilderness, voices resounded across continents as they expressed their sorrow. Some people questioned the morality of a life dedicated to the pursuit of trophies, while others saw it as a tragic reminder of the uncertainty present in the wild. Immediately following the untimely passing of Scott, discussions took place regarding the complicated relationship between animals and humans. In the harsh and unforgiving wilderness of Africa, his tragic end served as a harsh illustration of the fragile nature of life. The complex tapestry woven into the fabric of the African bush was the legacy that lingered after Scott Van Zyl's death. His absence created a void, which prompted members of the hunting community to engage in self-reflection and reevaluate the activities that had been the defining characteristics of his existence. In the dance between the hunter and the hunted, the line between triumph and tragedy can blur in the most unexpected of ways, and the echoes of his story resonated across the vast plains and meandering rivers, serving as a reminder of this fact. In addition, Scott's story continues to be a haunting chapter in the ageless story of man's quest for dominion over nature, which takes place in the mysterious depths of the Limpopo River. The repercussions of his untimely death extended far beyond the confines of a simple headline in the news stories. It was a poignant reflection on the human spirit and its unrelenting quest to conquer the untamed, even as the untamed, in an ironic twist, laid claim to its own. It was a story that emphasized the importance of respecting the wild and a cautionary ode to the fragile relationship that exists between man and the wilderness, which will forever define the essence of the African bush.
Zafarabad Zoo, located in Lahore, Pakistan, boasts a diverse collection of wildlife, attracting curious visitors from near and far. The sprawling facility provides a habitat for various animals, but the lions stand out as the main attraction, their roars echoing through the air. The zoo, nestled within the vibrant city, serves as an educational hub, enlightening visitors about the beauty and ferocity of nature. Among the attendees on a seemingly ordinary day was Maria Ahmed, an adventurous soul drawn to the enigmatic world of big cats. Maria, known for her spontaneous spirit, embarked on a solo visit to the zoo, her senses alive with anticipation. Unbeknownst to her, this venture into the wild confines of the zoo would take an unexpected turn. As Maria strolled through the well-maintained pathways, the majestic lions lounged in their enclosures, their eyes conveying a blend of regality and predatory instinct. The atmosphere buzzed with the energy of zoogoers marveling at nature's wonders. Guided by her adventurous curiosity, Maria lingered near the lion exhibit, captivated by these creatures' raw power and beauty. The date was etched in the calendar as an ordinary day in the summer of 2005 that transformed into a unique chapter in the zoo's history. Maria's presence in the zoo that day wasn't a mere coincidence. It was a fateful collision of human curiosity and animal instinct. The Zafarabad Zoo, like any other responsible animal facility, had stringent safety measures in place. Warning signs and barriers emphasized the need for visitors to maintain a safe distance from the enclosures. However, the lure of proximity proved irresistible for Maria. Ignoring the boundaries, she ventured closer to the lions, perhaps underestimating the untamed nature beneath their calm exterior. In this audacious act of proximity, Maria found herself face to face with the majestic lions and the zoo's resident tigers. Unbeknownst to her, the enclosure housed more than one big cat species. As she treaded into the territory shared by these formidable felines, Maria unwittingly set the stage for an unprecedented confrontation. The sun cast long shadows as Maria's adventure took an unforeseen turn. The tranquility of the zoo was shattered when, in a moment of primal instinct, one of the tigers locked eyes on the intruder. The atmosphere shifted from curiosity to an impending clash between human audacity and the innate wildness of the animal kingdom. As the scene unfolded, Maria stood at the intersection of fascination and danger, oblivious to the peril that lurked in the shadows. Little did she know that her proximity to the big cats would initiate a sequence of events that would forever alter the narrative of that ordinary day at the zoo. Without warning, the tiger sprang into action, its powerful muscles propelling it toward Maria. In the wild, such a move would be a matter of life and death, a dance between predator and prey. However, within the confines of the zoo, this primal instinct took an unforeseen turn. Maria, caught off guard by the sudden aggression, attempted to retreat. The tranquility that once enveloped the zoo was shattered as the tiger closed the distance. The attack was swift and unrelenting. The big cat's instincts overrode any semblance of restraint, and Maria was at the mercy of nature's raw power. The tiger's powerful jaws clamped down on Maria's arm with a force that bespoke its wild lineage. The attack unfolded in mere moments, leaving Maria defenseless against the relentless assault. Visitors who had initially been captivated by the allure of the big cats now found themselves witnessing a harrowing spectacle. Zookeepers and staff, alerted by the commotion, rushed to the scene. Fire extinguishers and other deterrents were deployed to distract and disengage the tiger from its prey. The chaotic scene unfolded with urgency, but the outcome was already etched in the intensity of the encounter. Maria's injuries were severe, the consequences of an ill-fated venture into the domain of wild predators. The tiger's assault left her with deep lacerations, the result of a clash between human vulnerability and untamed ferocity. As zoo staff worked to extricate Maria from the tiger's clutches, the situation's urgency hung heavy in the air. The gravity of the situation necessitated immediate medical attention. Maria was swiftly transported to a nearby hospital, her body bearing the scars of an encounter that defied the boundaries of human-animal coexistence. The Zafarabad Zoo, known for its commitment to education and conservation, now grapples with an incident that underscores the inherent risks associated with the powerful beings it seeks to showcase. The aftermath of the attack left the zoo community in shock and reflection. Maria's ill-fated decision to breach safety barriers served as a stark reminder that, despite the allure of proximity to nature's wonders, there exists an unbridgeable gap between the wild and the human realm. The incident would prompt a reassessment of safety protocols and a renewed commitment to ensuring the well-being of both visitors and the majestic creatures that called the zoo home. The repercussions of Maria's encounter with the tiger sent ripples through the community and triggered a thorough investigation by zoo authorities and local regulatory bodies. The zoo implemented immediate changes to fortify enclosures and enhance visitor safety in response to the incident. Emergency response procedures were scrutinized and refined to ensure a swift and effective reaction to unforeseen situations. Additionally, educational initiatives were intensified to impart a deeper understanding of the inherent dangers posed by wild animals, emphasizing the importance of respecting safety guidelines. The aftermath of Maria's unfortunate encounter catalyzed heightened vigilance across wildlife sanctuaries and zoological parks globally. It underscored the imperative need to maintain a clear boundary between the human and animal domains, fostering an environment where both can coexist safely. As Maria embarked on her road to recovery, the incident left an indelible mark on the collective consciousness. The episode echoed beyond the confines of Zafarabad Zoo, resonating as a cautionary tale about the untamed forces that dwell within even the most familiar and seemingly controlled environments. The incident instigated conversations about the delicate balance between showcasing wildlife and safeguarding human lives, a discord that would shape future policies and practices in zoological institutions worldwide.
The wind howled across St. Lorette Island, a mournful wail that seemed to echo the unforgiving nature of the Arctic. Nestled amidst the stark beauty of snow-dusted mountains and ice-choked bays lay a tiny Inupiat village, a defiant whisper of life against the vast white canvas. Here, weathered wooden houses huddled together for warmth, their smoke plumes rising like silent prayers against the biting sky. In one such dwelling, Anya Karpuk, her face etched with the resilience of countless winters, knelt beside a crackling fire. Her nimble, calloused, and robust fingers repaired a fishing net, its torn threads a testament to her recent battle with a monstrous walrus. Beside her, her two children, Akina and Etok, huddled closer, their wide eyes reflecting the flickering firelight and the ever-present fear stalking their lives' peripheries. Anya's spirit, however, was as untamed as the Arctic itself. Her dark eyes, flecked with the green of summer moss, held a fire that defied the encroaching darkness. Memories of her ancestors, men and women who had wrestled seals from icy depths and navigated treacherous storms by the whispers of the aurora, pulsed through her veins. This legacy was her inheritance, a whispered promise passed down through generations, etched in the lines around her eyes and the stories shared under the pale glow of the Arctic moon. Anya ventured out onto the frozen sea each day, her kayak a swift shadow against the blinding white, her harpoon a silent extension of her will. The unforgiving Arctic tested her at every turn, but Anya met its challenges with a quiet ferocity, her every breath a testament to the unyielding spirit of her people. Evenings were a time for solace and storytelling. In Anya's eyes, Akina and Etok, her children, saw not just their mother, but a living embodiment of their heritage, a testament to the enduring spirit that pulsed through the veins of the Inupiat people. In the unforgiving embrace of the Arctic, it was not just the harsh elements they needed to survive, but the icy grip of fear itself. And in the steady hands of Anya Karpuk, they found the flickering flame of resilience that would light their way through the long, dark winter. On a particularly bitter day, with the sun barely gracing the horizon, Anya bundled herself in furs and set out towards a nearby frozen lake. The ice, solid and unyielding, was her gateway to the bounty beneath. Armed with a drill, she cut through the thick ice, creating a small opening to access the frigid waters below. The trap, meticulously set, was her lifeline, promising a meager but vital catch for dinner. As Anya waited in the icy silence, the tranquility was shattered by a sudden disturbance behind her. Akuluk, a rogue polar bear driven by hunger and disoriented by the shifting climate, emerged from the white expanse. The bear's instincts, once attuned to the rhythms of the Arctic, were now warped by the challenges posed by the changing environment. Its massive form loomed behind Anya, a stark contrast against the frozen landscape. Without warning, Akuluk attacked. Caught off guard, Anya fought with desperate bravery born of survival instinct. Claws and teeth clashed against human determination on the icy stage. The unforgiving cold bore witness to the struggle between woman and beast. Anya, though skilled in the art of survival, could not escape unscathed. The bear's aggression left her with severe injuries, but in a display of sheer will, she managed to break free from the relentless assault. Bruised, bloodied, and carrying the weight of survival on her shoulders, Anya staggered away from the battleground, leaving behind her trap and the wounded polar bear. The journey back to the village, each step a testament to her resilience, was a painful odyssey through the tundra. The biting wind seemed to conspire against her, threatening to extinguish the flame of life that still burned within her. The village, a cluster of sturdy homes huddled against the biting cold, welcomed Anya back with relief and concern. The local hospital, a modest yet indispensable institution, became her sanctuary. The medical team, accustomed to treating injuries born of the relentless Arctic struggles, tended to her wounds with practiced care. Anya's journey from the icy lake to the warmth of the hospital bed reflected the harsh reality of life in one of the world's coldest places, where every foray into the wilderness is a battle against nature's uncompromising forces. The news of Anya's encounter with Akuluk rippled through the tight-knit community. The rogue polar bear, its desperate hunger manifesting in aggressive behavior, symbolized the challenges humans and wildlife face in the changing Arctic landscape. The incident sparked conversations about the delicate balance between survival and coexistence in an environment where resources were scarce and the boundaries between predator and prey blurred. Anya became a reluctant emblem of the village's resilience despite her physical wounds. Her ordeal underscored the daily battles faced by those who called the Arctic home. The traditional ways of hunting and fishing, once harmonious with nature, now grappled with the consequences of a changing climate and the encroachment of predators driven to extremes by their struggle for survival. In the aftermath of the encounter, the villagers rallied around Anya, offering support and solidarity. The scars on her body, a testament to her confrontation with Akuluk, also spoke of the indomitable spirit that defined the people of the Inupiat village. The bonds woven by shared struggles grew stronger, creating a tapestry of resilience against the backdrop of the harsh Arctic landscape. As winter tightened its grip on St. Lorette Island, the village faced the ongoing challenges of existence in one of the world's coldest places. The story of Anya Karpuk and Akuluk became a chapter in the ongoing saga of survival, where every meal, every step into the frozen wilderness, carried the weight of a battle against the unforgiving forces of nature. In the heart of Beijing, amid the city's bustling energy, Jing stood as a testament to youthful adventure and passion. At the tender age of 23, she had carved a unique path to wealth and fame through her love for exploration and animals. Her vlogs documenting her adventures and wildlife encounters on a local social media platform in China garnered a devoted following. Today, Jing found herself within the captivating confines of the Beijing Zoo, drawn by the allure of one special inhabitant, an adult male walrus named Shui. Shui's presence captivated visitors, his story of rescue and rehabilitation resonating deeply with the hearts of those who wandered into his domain. The walrus, with his towering form and distinctive tusks, held court in the enclosure. Visitors, especially children, gathered around, their faces filled with wonder and delight at the sight of Shui, a testament to his unique allure. Jing, her camera poised, entered the scene with unbridled enthusiasm. Her infectious energy mingled with the throng of visitors, all united in admiration for the walrus who had overcome adversity to find a home at the zoo. Shui, a gentle giant in his aquatic realm, swam gracefully in the water, his docile demeanor endearing him to the crowds. Jing's lens captured his every move, her vlog serving as a testament to the serendipitous joy of their encounter. In her fervor to capture the perfect shot, Jing meticulously adjusted her camera settings, her attention riveted to the screen. Unbeknownst to her, each step backward edged her perilously close to the boundary of Shui's enclosure, blurring the line between observer and participant. As Jing maneuvered for a better angle, her inadvertent steps took her beyond the intended perimeter. In an unforeseen turn, she lost her footing and stumbled backward, finding herself plunged into the cool waters of Shui's habitat. Panic rippled through the spectators and handlers, the sudden intrusion disrupting the tranquility of the moment. Shui, startled by the unexpected disturbance, responded instinctively, his protective nature overriding his familiarity with visitors. Jing, submerged in the walrus's world, felt a surge of fear course through her veins. With frantic movements, she sought to resurface, her mind racing with apprehension amidst the aquatic chaos. The enclosure echoed with gasps and cries as Jing struggled to navigate the water, her instinctual urge to escape heightened by the walrus's territorial instincts. Unaware of her proximity to Shui's feeding area, Jing swam toward the enclosure's edge, her heart pounding with desperate urgency. The inadvertent proximity to Shui's feeding spot, however, would prove to be a crucial factor. The sight of his food triggered an unexpected surge of territorial aggression in Shui. Sensing a perceived threat near his sustenance, the walrus responded with instinctual fury, a protective stance driven by primal instincts. Jing, oblivious to the unfolding tension, found herself near Shui's pile of food. The walrus, propelled by a surge of territoriality, made a sudden movement toward Jing, his tusk inadvertently causing a graze on her left thigh amidst the chaos. Jing continued to scream as Shui pulled out its tusk, causing extreme bleeding from Jing's opened wound as the walrus continued to attack and pounce on her. Jing's cries pierced the air, a poignant melody of fear and desperation as she grappled with the unforeseen danger. The onlookers and handlers were caught in a whirlwind of shock and apprehension. Swift intervention became imperative. The zoo's emergency response team arrived promptly, armed with non-lethal measures. With precise aim, they intervened just in time, neutralizing Shui's heightened aggression with rubber bullets, rescuing an unconscious Jing from the enclosure's confines. The hospital corridors buzzed with urgency, as medical professionals fought against time to stabilize Jing's critical condition. Her injuries, though not life-threatening, bore witness to the unpredictability that often lies within the animal kingdom. Jing, amidst the haze of trauma and pain, battled valiantly for survival. The deep wound on her leg was a stark reminder of the delicate balance between fascination and risk in her endeavors. Meanwhile, the zoo faced the aftermath of the incident. Shui's enclosure remained temporarily closed as experts deliberated on strategies to address the situation without compromising his well-being or the zoo's reputation. Days turned into a vigil of hope and contemplation. Jing's survival became a beacon of resilience, sparking discussions about safety measures and the nuanced dynamics between human curiosity and the inherent instincts of wildlife. The incident resonated through the city, a story that prompted introspection on the complexities of human-animal interactions and the need for stringent safety protocols. Jing's journey through recovery became a narrative of endurance and empathy, resonating far beyond the zoo's confines, a testament to the unforeseen perils and unwavering passion that underscore our interactions with the natural world.
In the heart of Florida, nestled amidst lush surroundings, lay the Sun Haven Wildlife Park, an immersive haven where visitors could catch glimpses of majestic creatures from around the globe. The park boasted an expansive tiger enclosure, a carefully crafted habitat for resident Bengal tigers. On a fateful day in 2011, the tranquility of Sun Haven would be shattered by an audacious act that would leave an indelible mark on the park's history. Enter the Anderson family. Rachel, accompanied by her husband Mike, and their two children, Lily and Ethan. Eager to explore the wonders of the animal kingdom, they embarked on a family outing to Sun Haven. Unbeknownst to the park staff, this seemingly ordinary family harbored an adventurous spirit that would soon lead them into uncharted territory. The tiger enclosure, a sprawling domain with lush greenery and carefully designed terrain, housed the park's prized Bengal tigers. Among them was a particularly spirited feline named Raja, known for his regal bearing and playful demeanor. As the Andersons wandered through the park, the allure of the tiger enclosure beckoned to them, a magnetic pull fueled by curiosity and a desire for a closer encounter with the wild. The date was etched into the calendar as an innocuous day of family exploration, but it would soon become a pivotal moment in the Andersons' lives. The air buzzed with the symphony of nature as the family approached the tiger enclosure. Unfazed by the seemingly impossible barrier that separated them from the tigers, an idea sparked in Rachel's mind, a daring plan to bridge the gap between the confined wild and the inquisitive human spirit. As the family surreptitiously approached the enclosure, their hearts quickened with excitement and trepidation. The towering mesh fence, designed to uphold the delicate balance between spectator and spectacle, failed to deter the Andersons from their impromptu escapade. The prospect of a once-in-a-lifetime encounter with the majestic creatures spurred them forward. In the ensuing moments, Rachel extended her hand through the mesh, bridging the divide between human and tiger. A thrilling rush of adrenaline coursed through her veins as she felt the coarse texture of Raja's fur beneath her fingertips. The encounter, initially harmonious, took an unforeseen turn as the tiger, perhaps startled by the unexpected intrusion, reacted instinctively. In a swift movement, the atmosphere shifted from euphoria to alarm as Raja nipped at Rachel's hand. A sudden jolt of pain surged through her as the reality of the situation dawned on the Andersons. The family's impulsive venture into the tiger's domain had resulted in an unexpected and potentially dangerous interaction. In the aftermath of the incident, the park echoed with urgent calls for assistance. Park staff rushed to the scene, mobilizing expertise to address the unforeseen safety breach. An ambulance was swiftly summoned to tend to Rachel's injured hand, adding an element of urgency to the unfolding drama. As Rachel grappled with the repercussions of her impulsive act, Sun Haven Wildlife Park faced a reckoning. The incident prompted a reassessment of safety measures, spurring the park to reinforce enclosures and fortify barriers to prevent future breaches. The episode became a cautionary tale, underscoring the importance of respecting boundaries and safeguarding visitors and resident wildlife. The Anderson family, thrust into a maelstrom of emotions, found themselves at the center of a narrative that transcended the boundaries of a typical family outing. The consequences of their audacious foray into the tiger's realm were a stark reminder of the inherent risks associated with wild encounters. In the aftermath of the audacious encounter at Sunhaven Wildlife Park, the repercussions of the incident extended beyond the immediate realm of the Anderson family. As Rachel received medical attention for her injured hand, authorities swiftly intervened to address the repercussions. Emergency responders were summoned to the park urgently and arrived to assess Rachel's condition. Medical professionals' swift and coordinated response became crucial in managing the fallout from the impromptu tiger interaction. Though nursing a wounded hand, Rachel received prompt medical care, mitigating the severity of her injuries. Meanwhile, the incident triggered a comprehensive investigation by park authorities and local wildlife experts. The focus shifted to understanding the factors that led to the unexpected tiger attack, unraveling the encounter's intricacies to prevent similar future incidents. The consensus among wildlife experts underscored the inherent dangers associated with breaching safety protocols in zoological settings. Authorities at Sunhaven Wildlife Park, aware of the need for enhanced safety measures, thoroughly evaluated their enclosures. The goal was to fortify barriers and implement additional safeguards to prevent unauthorized access and minimize potential risks to visitors and animals. In the wake of the incident, the park reassessed its protocols for visitor education, emphasizing the importance of adhering to established guidelines. Warning signs were reinforced, and informational materials were distributed to visitors to respect the boundaries and safeguard the public and the resident wildlife. The Anderson family found themselves at the center of a discourse on responsible wildlife engagement. While their impulsive actions catalyzed change, the family became unintentional advocates for heightened awareness about the potential consequences of unauthorized interactions with zoo animals. The incident also prompted a reflection on the motivations behind the tiger's reaction. Tigers, inherently territorial and protective of their space, may perceive intrusions as threats. The unexpected proximity of a visitor's hand could trigger a defensive response, leading to an instinctual nip or bite. Wildlife experts underscored the importance of recognizing and respecting animals' natural behaviors in captivity to minimize the risk of such incidents. The tiger involved in the incident, Raja, faced no punitive measures. Instead, the park opted for a nuanced approach, recognizing that the tiger's actions responded to an unforeseen situation. Raja remained in his enclosure, and the incident prompted the park to enhance enrichment activities for the resident tigers, promoting their physical and mental well-being. In the larger context, the Sunhaven Wildlife Park incident catalyzed heightened vigilance within the zoo community. The narrative of the Anderson family served as a cautionary tale, reminding visitors worldwide of the imperative to respect safety guidelines and the inherent risks associated with unscripted interactions with wild animals.
A man named Ranjith Varma lived in a quiet town in Virginia. He was 55 years old and spent his days in a routine in the small town of Manassas. Ranjith's life was simple, but a spark of adventure glowed inside him, waiting for the right moment to shine. Ranjith loved the simplicity of nature and often dreamed of escaping the ordinary. His small home was filled with pictures of grand landscapes, showcasing his desire for something more exciting. One day, while flipping through an old atlas, Ranjith's eyes caught the beauty of the Grand Canyon. The colorful rocks and vastness spoke to him like a song, urging him to break from routine. Inspired, Ranjith embarked on a daring adventure, conquering the Grand Canyon's rim-to-rim hike in a single day. The plan was set for September 9, 2023, and Ranjith joined a group of 6 fellow adventurers. Before the big day, Ranjith immersed himself in preparations, gathering gear and excitement. Little did he know that beneath the surface of anticipation, challenges awaited. The journey began with a group of hikers navigating the North Kaibab Trail, unaware of the twists of fate looming ahead. As they ventured deeper into the canyon, Ranjith, customarily filled with excitement, started feeling uneasy. The others didn't notice the change in his spirit as they marveled at the stunning canyon views. In the heart of the canyon, where temperatures soared above 100° F, Ranjith's steps became hesitant, foretelling the challenges ahead. Suddenly, Ranjith became unresponsive, sending shockwaves through the group. A distress call echoed through the canyon, reaching the National Park Service (NPS) search and rescue team. Panic set in as bystanders initiated CPR, fighting against time in the harsh conditions. The NPS team raced against the scorching sun to reach the stranded hikers. Despite their advanced life support efforts, Ranjith's journey came to a tragic end. An investigation led by the NPS and the Coconino County Medical Examiner sought answers about the role of heat in this unfortunate incident. The inner canyon, known for temperatures exceeding 120° F, silently witnessed Ranjith's demise. The investigation echoed warnings from Joelle Baird, a park spokesperson, emphasizing the need for hikers to be well prepared and informed about canyon conditions. Ranjith's story transformed from an adventure to a tale about the dangers within the grandeur of the Grand Canyon. The statistics, revealing an average of 15 to 20 lives claimed by the canyon annually, underlined the challenges awaiting those who ventured into its depths. Statements from park officials and news releases highlighted the aftermath and collaborative efforts for investigation. The trail, spanning 21 miles and demanding physical endurance, posed challenges exacerbated by temperatures reaching over 120° F in exposed areas. As the investigation continued, the Grand Canyon stood tall, indifferent to the tales of triumph and tragedy within its vast expanse. Ranjith Varma became another chapter in the ongoing saga of the Grand Canyon, a story whispered through the winds that swept across its towering cliffs and rugged valleys. In the end, Ranjith's journey, filled with dreams and challenges, served as a reminder of the fine line between aspiration and tragedy. The Grand Canyon, a breathtaking marvel, demanded respect and preparation from those who sought to explore its mysteries, leaving behind echoes of caution that reverberated through the canyon's timeless landscapes. The early morning of July 25, 2021, marked the beginning of an adventure for Richard Judd, a 72-year-old man with a passion for hiking. Accompanied by his hiking partner, they embarked on a journey into the Yosemite backcountry, ready to explore the rugged beauty of the Sierra National Forest. Choosing to commence their hike at the Quartz Mountain Trailhead, a location situated about 23 miles south of Lower Merced Pass Lake, the duo parked their vehicle and prepared for the trek ahead. Despite his age, Richard was remarkably fit, often engaging in physically demanding activities like hiking and camping. His enthusiasm for these adventures was fueled by his love for the outdoors and the joy of sharing these experiences with friends. On that warm July morning, Richard donned his blue shirt and gray pants, loading his backpack with essentials for the hike. Standing at 5 feet, 11 inches, and weighing 150 pounds, he exuded a quiet strength as he set foot on the trail, ready to embrace the challenges that lay ahead. The pair camped near Lower Merced Pass Lake before embarking on a day hike toward Lower Ottaway Lake and Red Peak Pass. Lower Merced Pass Lake, situated approximately 15 miles, 24.14 kilometers, from Happy Isles, served as their starting point for the Mist Trail, leading to the iconic Half-Dome Cables. The journey from Lower Merced Pass Lake to Red Peak Pass spanned about 3.5 miles, 5.63 kilometers, and the duo relished the moments spent traversing the rugged terrain, engrossed in conversation. Somewhere between Lower Merced Pass Lake and Lower Ottaway Lake, the unexpected occurred. The two hikers lost sight of each other, unintentionally getting separated amidst the wilderness. Perhaps assuming that Richard had forged ahead, the hiking partner continued on the trail, half expecting to reunite at the journey's end. As he reached the trail's conclusion, anticipation turned into concern when Richard was nowhere to be found. Waiting patiently, the partner hoped Richard would emerge at any moment. However, as time slipped away, the realization set in. Richard Judd was missing, seemingly vanished amid the vast expanse of the Yosemite backcountry. With a sense of urgency, the hiking partner promptly reported Richard's disappearance to the Yosemite National Park Rangers, initiating a frantic search operation. Despite their best efforts, the search proved futile, leaving Richard's whereabouts shrouded in mystery. This baffling case of a missing hiker was not an isolated incident, as several others had been reported that month in Yosemite National Park wilderness areas. Yosemite National Park, renowned for its awe-inspiring landscapes, witnessed a disconcerting trend. In the period from 2014 to 2019, the Yosemite search and rescue personnel carried out an average of 240 missions annually. A 2020 analysis unveiled that Yosemite was ranked as the 14th most deadly national park, registering 28.01 deaths per 10 million visits. This calculation took into account both the number of deaths and visitor statistics. The case of Richard Judd added another layer to the haunting reality of hikers disappearing in the vast wilderness of Yosemite. His fate, whether alive or otherwise, remained unknown, casting a shadow over the efforts of authorities and lingering as an unsolved mystery. The wilderness that had once been a source of awe and adventure now bore witness to the enigma of a seasoned hiker who vanished without a trace.
In the heart of San Francisco, nestled within the vibrant cityscape, lies Bayfront Wildlife Park, a modest haven that provides a glimpse into the diverse world of wildlife. Unbeknownst to many, this sanctuary houses a remarkable collection of animals, including the majestic Bengal tigers. The park, situated in a bustling urban setting, has long been a haven for animal enthusiasts seeking a close encounter with nature. Meet Sarah and Mark Thompson, an ordinary couple with an extraordinary love for wildlife. Sarah, an avid animal lover, harbored a particular fascination for big cats, and her dream of witnessing these majestic creatures up close led the couple to Bayfront Wildlife Park on that fateful day in 2009. Though relatively small, the park boasted diverse wildlife, captivating visitors with its carefully curated exhibits. As Sarah and Mark strolled through the park, the air buzzed with the sounds of nature, chirping birds, rustling leaves, and distant roars echoing from the enclosures. The couple marveled at the Bengal tigers, their sleek coats and piercing eyes commanding attention. Bayfront Wildlife Park had stringent safety measures, explicit warnings, and barriers to maintain a safe distance between visitors and the awe-inspiring animals. However, the allure of getting an even closer look proved irresistible to Sarah. Ignoring the well-marked boundaries, she succumbed to the temptation to peer into the enclosure, the thrill of proximity clouding her judgment. Mark, initially hesitant, found himself drawn into his wife's excitement, unwittingly becoming a participant in a dangerous adventure. The atmosphere shifted from excitement to terror as the boundary-crossing escapade took an unforeseen turn. The majestic Bengal tiger, usually a symbol of untamed beauty, turned into an embodiment of primal instincts. Sarah's ill-fated decision triggered a chain of events that would leave an indelible mark on their lives. The swift and decisive tiger seized the opportunity as the couple stood too close to the enclosure's edge. In a fraction of a second, the park's tranquility shattered as the colossal feline lunged toward Sarah, its jaws clamping down on her leg with a force that defied comprehension. The initial shock paralyzed the couple, and the reality of the situation sank in as the tiger's unexpected aggression unfolded. The once serene afternoon was transformed into a chaotic scene of panic and distress. The echoes of Sarah's cries for help reverberated through the park, prompting nearby visitors and park staff to rush to the unfolding tragedy. The attack sent shockwaves through Bayfront Wildlife Park, forever altering visitors' engagement with the captivating yet perilous wildlife. Sarah's harrowing ordeal unfolded in mere moments, yet the consequences would be etched into her life forever. The tiger's powerful jaws clamped down on her leg, inflicting grievous injuries that sent shockwaves through the crowd. Mark, in a frantic attempt to free his wife from the tiger's grasp, struggled against the overwhelming force of the beast. Panic screams reverberated through the park as onlookers grappled with the surreal scene. Park staff, trained for emergencies but unprepared for such a brazen safety breach, rushed to the enclosure with emergency equipment. The situation's urgency was palpable, and within minutes, a team of paramedics arrived at the scene. Sarah's leg bore the brunt of the attack, with deep lacerations and puncture wounds revealing the extent of the tiger's aggression. Blood soaked through her clothing, staining the vibrant hues with a stark reminder of the danger that lurked within the seemingly tranquil enclosure. The paramedics worked swiftly to stabilize her condition, applying tourniquets to stem the profuse bleeding and carefully immobilizing her injured leg. Amid the chaos, an ambulance rushed Sarah to the nearest hospital, where a team of medical professionals awaited her arrival. The severity of her injuries necessitated immediate attention, and the hospital staff worked diligently to address the physical trauma inflicted by the powerful predator. The incident sparked a flurry of activity within the Bayfront Wildlife Park's administrative corridors. Authorities swiftly investigated the security lapses that allowed such a breach. The park, now under intense scrutiny, faced questions regarding the adequacy of its safety protocols and the measures in place to prevent visitors from flouting established guidelines. As news of the tiger attack spread, authorities faced the challenge of managing public perception and ensuring the safety of future visitors. Statements emphasized the importance of adhering to safety guidelines and the inherent risks of proximity to wild animals. The incident became a cautionary tale, serving as a stark reminder of the unpredictability of nature, even within the confines of a supposedly controlled environment. The fate of the Bengal tiger, the unwitting protagonist in this tragic episode, hung in the balance. Park officials, in consultation with wildlife experts, deliberated on the appropriate course of action. Euthanizing the animal, a controversial decision fraught with ethical considerations, loomed as a potential outcome. However, the park chose a different path amidst the debates and discussions. In a rare display of mercy, the Bengal tiger was relocated to a sanctuary better suited for its needs. The decision aimed to balance ensuring visitor safety with recognizing the animal's innate instincts. The incident prompted a reevaluation of enclosure designs and safety measures to fortify the park against similar breaches in the future. Sarah's recovery journey unfolded against media scrutiny and public discourse. The physical scars on her leg bore witness to the price she paid for a momentary lapse in judgment. The incident became a cautionary tale, resonating beyond the boundaries of Bayfront Wildlife Park and underscoring the importance of respecting the wild, even in seemingly controlled settings. The aftermath of the tiger attack cast a long shadow over the park's reputation, prompting a comprehensive review of safety protocols. Bayfront Wildlife Park emerged from the incident with a renewed commitment to visitor safety, vowing to learn from the tragedy and implement measures to prevent such incidents. The incident left an indelible mark on Sarah and Mark, a couple whose quest for a closer connection with nature had veered into a realm of peril they could never have anticipated. As they navigated the challenges of physical and emotional recovery, their story served as a poignant reminder of the delicate balance between human curiosity and the untamed forces of the animal kingdom.